of the videos. In 1900, all the world's mathematical knowledge could be written in about 80 books. Today, it would fill more than 100,000. A female ferret will die if she doesn't have sex for a year. A full Kindle weighs a billionth of a gram more than a brand new one. There are over 1,200 species of bat in the world, and not one of them is blind. There are 4,800 species of frog in the world, but only one of them goes ribbit. Only 2% of women describe themselves as beautiful. The word school comes from the ancient Greek for free time. The names Honda and Toyota derive from Japanese words for different kinds of rice field. There are at least 300 earthquakes a year in the United Kingdom, but only 11 people have ever died in one. The CIA reads up to 5 million tweets a day. Sending a man to the moon and finding Osama bin Laden cost the U.S. government about the same amount of time and money, 10 years and $100 million. IMAX projectors weigh as much as a post. Their bulbs cost $5 million each and are bright enough to be seen from the International Space Station. In 2005, Americans spent 6 billion hours filing tax forms at an estimated cost of $265 billion. The American TV sex therapist Dr. Ruth trained as an Israeli sniper. Cows carry cowpox, but chickens don't carry chickenpox. The average pencil can write 45,000 words, or a single line 35 miles long. The planet Venus rotates so slowly on its axis that its day is longer than its year. Beijing, Seoul, and Tokyo all mean capital in their respective languages. There are at least 27 million slaves in the world today, more than were ever seized from Africa in the 400 years of the slave trade. Slaves in America in 1850 cost the equivalent of $40,000. The going rate today is only $90. More than 80% of the world's population takes caffeine in tea, coffee, or cola every day. It costs more to make the cardboard box that shredded wheat comes in than it does to make the shredded wheat itself. Almost all the Botox in the world is made in a single factory in Ireland. All blue-eyed people are mutants. The first ones appeared as recently as 5,000 years ago. Cows eat only grass, but have 25,000 taste buds, 2.5 times as many as humans. In 2012, the population of Facebook passed 1 billion. If it were a country, it would be the third largest in the world. Before the Renaissance, 75% of all the books in the world were in Chinese. If all the asteroids in our solar system were lumped together, they'd be smaller than the moon. Because there is no weather on the moon, the footprints of the 12 men who walked on it are still there. Most astronauts become 2 inches taller in space. 69% of people in the rear of an crashes, compared to the 49% at the front. 40% of all bottled water sold in the world is bottled tap water. More than twice as many people are killed by vending machines as by sharks. Placebos are 30% more effective as an antidote for depression than drugs. The inventor of best before dates, originally for milk, was Al Capone. The national anthem of Spain has no words. Only 35% of the average person's Twitter followers are actual people. Humans have been hunter-gatherers for 99% of their history. Ostriches can be trained to herd sheep. Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt. Steve Jobs' annual salary as CEO of Apple was $1. It cost the United States Mint over 11 cents to make each 5-cent coin. Starbucks offers 87,000 different drink combinations. Almost half of all Americans today are classified as living in poverty or barely scraping by. 46% pay no income tax. The U.S. has only 5% of the world's population, but almost 25% of its prison population. 2/3 of all the people in the world who have ever lived to be 65 are still alive today. All 10 species of the most venomous snakes in the world live in Australia. By 2020, the number of men of marriageable age in China will outnumber the women by 30 million. Half of the world's black pepper is produced in Vietnam. Highways in the western USA are based on the migratory routes of bison. The Aztecs sacrificed 1% of their population every year, or about 250,000 people. Seahorses are the only fish with a neck, and the only family of animals where the male gives birth. Queen Elizabeth I often drank 2 pints of strong beer for breakfast. When trying out a new pen, 97% of people write their own name. 90% of everything written in English uses just 1,000 words. Eskimos use refrigerators to stop their food from freezing. Every U.S. president with a beard has been Republican. The Bible is the most shoplifted book in the United States. Humans and elephants are the only animals with chins. The American Psychiatric Association listed homosexuality as a mental illness until 1973. Sudan is the only country that still has crucifixion as an official form of capital punishment. Bugs Bunny is not a rabbit, but a hare. Dolphins shed the top layer of their skin every 2 hours. All brand cereal is only 87% bran. Thomas Edison proposed to his second wife in Morse code. Squirrels can remember the hiding places of up to 10,000 nuts. Buzz Aldrin's mother's maiden name was Moon. King George III's urine was blue. Nelson Mandela was not removed from the U.S. terror watch list until 2008. 2 has never seen snow. 11 of the 12 men to have walked on the moon were in the Boy Scouts. Lava can flow as fast as a sprinting greyhound. If everyone in the world washed their hands properly, 1,000,000 lives could be saved a year. Every year, 1,000 letters arrive in Jerusalem addressed to God. A pumping human heart can squirt blood a distance of 30 feet. The founder of Match.com lost his girlfriend to a man she met on Match.com. The average car in Britain is parked for 96% of the time. By 2025, there will be more English speakers in China than in the rest of the world put together. The 7-year preparation for the 2008 Beijing Olympics reduced unemployment in the city to 0 and increased the average income by 90%. A lethal dose of caffeine is about 50 double espressos. Almost any domestic cat can run faster than Usain Bolt. Most antibiotics are made from bacteria. Bacteria can get viruses. Viruses can get viruses. The speed of the wind has fallen by 60% in the last 30 years. Half of all the species in the world live in the rainforest Canada.